Time the Amad of Moshe Leitzon La Yashav. Im Nesar Sadonai Chatzav Sarasal Yegei Imam Valayla. Yakei Shatla Pagei Mayim. Asher Piyu Yitem Yitav Yalei Lo Yibol. B'chol Asher Yatzliach L'chein Rashamim Kamot Asher Tifen Ruach. Aken Lo Yakum Avishai B'mishpat. B'chatoim B'adas Tzadikim. Gedei Adonai Dar Tzadikim. Derech Yishayim Tavei. Happy is the one who has not followed the counsel of the wicked, nor stood in the path of sinners, nor sat in the company of the scornful. Rather, one delight is in the Torah. Happy is the one who has not followed the counsel of the wicked, nor stood in the path of sinners, beside the company of the scornful. Rather, that one's delight is in the Torah of the Lord, meditating in God's Torah day and night. And will be like a tree planted by streams of water, that yields its fruit in season, whose leaf will not wither, and whatever that one does prospers. Not so the wicked, but like the chaff that the wind just drives away. Therefore the wicked shall not survive judgment, nor sinners in the assembly of the righteous. The Lord loves the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked is doomed. We gathered here, ladies and gentlemen, to pay tribute, a kavod achron, a final honor, to Mrs. Sarah Yeda Gassman, Sarah Bas Binyamin. Mrs. Gassman was born September 12th, 1919. Do the math. Passed away a few days ago. Yutas Adar Beis. She was born in Oatsville, Pennsylvania. And just put yourself and transport ourselves back to that time in American history, the early 20s. What women's roles were, what women's rights were at that time. And at an early age, she was a valedictorian of her high school class. She earned a full scholarship to Beaver College in 1940, graduated cum laude. Very strong-willed individual who wasn't really involved necessarily in what we would call in today's progressive movements, but just did it. Smart, and met her husband, Mr. Harvey Gassman, from Chicago, married in 1945, and lived there for a number of years. In 1953, moved Harvey was in the military, and for a year moved to South Dakota, and helped the Army Native things there. And then came to San Diego, 1954 approximately to 1968. Later on to Los Angeles, to the 90s, and concluding her journey in this world in Charleston, South Carolina, since 2012. A beautiful family. By the fact that family stands together and comes together is a testament to her life. We all know in today's day and age it does not happen by itself. It requires hard work, perseverance, dedication, and love. And particularly unconditional love is what she shared. From all of her children, over 6 children, to Shifra, who is in Eretz Yisrael, who has actually began the morning sitting Shiva, the process already. That is the Jewish law if you're not going to attend. Son Chuck was here. Marianne, his wife. A dear daughter-in-law. her daughter Malka, daughter Clarice, Alan, and Adele, who passed away 41 years ago, who now they join together. There's a saying, when a person loses a child, it is one of the most difficult challenges a person can go through in life. And when asked, sometimes the person, how many children do you have? It's very painful to answer. And sometimes the question is asked to siblings, how many siblings do you have? So the answer is, in the case of Yetta, the answer is, I have 6 children. 5 here, and 1 living with the great-grandparents. And so too his siblings as well. His siblings are here, and 1 sibling is living by the Elta Babas, by the Elta Zaydas, by the great-grandparents. They're there. The grandchildren who are here, great-grandchildren, and great-great-grandchildren who had an opportunity to not only know that they had a grandmother, a great-great-grandmother, but they literally have got to know them. She was a mother first, continuing as grandmother, and great-grandmother, and great-great-grandmother. She was all about her family, and she put aside her education and the ability to be something else or someone else in the world, but rather focus clearly on her family. Her main primary things in life was the family and asking about everyone and thanking everyone. Gratitude was something primary in her lifetime. She enjoyed things like gardening, gave her peace of mind. The chirping of birds, something that sometimes we relate to, in a sense. I'd like to mention her role and connect it to 2 individuals in our tradition. One, of course, that stands out, as she was what we would call the matriarch of the family. That would be Sarah Imenu. Sarah Imenu, the wife of Abraham, and that is her namesake, Sarah, the Sarah, who at the time became the matriarch without even knowing what will be later on. Sarah, in this case, knew and saw the peros, the fruits of her family. And it's interesting, it was mentioned, she saw there were 5 generations. The Medrash, the interpretation to the book of Ruth. Ruth, a convert to Judaism, was the great-great-grandmother of King David. And from King David would come what we would know as the Mashiach, the Messiah. And they say that if someone was able to see 5 generations, will see the merit to greet Melech HaMashiach. In this week's Torah portion, changing for a moment, the high priest Aaron HaKohen, has 2 sons who died. And as painful as it was, Aaron accepted the judgment, and the Torah says, Vayidom Aaron, and Aaron was silent. Didn't complain, didn't have complaints. And sometimes we think, sometimes a person is old and ill and suffering. What I understand, till the very last hours of her lifetime, she was aware, and something to say, why did it happen? She could have gone on. I'm sure many people, the family, never would even think that this day would occur. Nevertheless, our response has to be no less than Aaron HaKohen. Vayidom Aaron, and the Gassman family is silent as it accepts this. She never drove in the beginning. When she did, you picture the old lady behind, she would only get a ticket maybe if you're going too slow, not for speeding, or just over the 15-mile-an-hour speed limit. But she completely was devoted to her husband, who was a physician, and to his work and to his dedication to mankind. But when he passed, after he had taken care of him, she knew that it was important for her to stand up and to do things to connect and unite and to be connected to the entire family. And perhaps it wasn't her nature, but she stood up and she would travel and to go, to be whatever celebration there was, whatever difficult time there was in the family, to be there. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the tragedy that the entire family experienced, but to imagine a grandmother having to hear about a granddaughter being killed by a terrorist attack, and to have lost a great-grandchild in the process. I remember it well. I remember meeting them afterwards. The legacy lives on. She had a tremendous respect for the entire family. Her traditions were strong, powerful, from the early days of lighting candles on Friday night to making sure Kiddush was said, and not only, but maintained the services and helped out other Jewish residents in Charleston. And she brought those services of Judaism to those around her. And despite the diversity, everyone respected her because she respected them. Ezehu Mechubad, who is honored, the rabbis tell us, HaMechabed es Habrios. Someone who honors others, themselves will be honored. For me, it is a tremendous honor to be able to be here with you. I know that family, we have to share words of memories and of different feelings that they have, to eulogize and to make great. May God wipe away tears. May death be swallowed up forever. May the Lord God wipe away tears from every face. And remove the mocking of our God's people from throughout the world. The Lord has spoken. This time I'd like to call upon Alan to say a few words. Remember, as I mentioned earlier, we are speaking also not only to people who are here,